Hey folks, Junkie Rock 13 on the forums and on the YouTube channels and everything vaping related. My name's Ross Sanders. I'm here today again to give you another review on what I think is a pretty nice product. It is the Ego T by Joyetech 18650 battery mod. Gonna take a quick look at that, and at the end of this video I have a nice giveaway for everybody, so stay tuned and let's take a look at this mod. Alright folks, so here we are. This is the 18650 by Joyetech, and it is the Ego T. Now this is not like a regular Ego where you just take it and plug it into a regular charger and when the battery is dead you throw it out. This is actually one that you open up and put a battery in. I'm going to get right into that. But these are rather inexpensive, and they're a nice little step up if you seem to not have enough battery life in your regular Egos. This is an 1100 mAh. This is my wife's little 650 mAh. But you can see the size difference from the 650 to the 18650. Now this battery mod will be using the regular 18650 rechargeable batteries. I prefer to use the AWs. This one is the 2000 milliamp hour. A lot of people have questions on the forums whether they can use batteries like the Ultra Fire. These are 18650 also. But let me just take this off. Let me just show you something real quick. Now, with the 18650 Ultra Fire battery in this device, now it fits right in there, no problem. But you can see it's kind of right up to the top. Okay, now when you put on the head, the switch, it starts to screw down, but there's a little gap in there. Now if you're okay with the gap, it still fires, and with a cardinal on it, it does fire. I don't like using these batteries. When I first started vaping I did, but I found that the AWs are, I've done some research, and the AW batteries are a lot, the IMR batteries are a lot safer chemistry, and when something is this close to my face, I'd rather have something safer. I haven't had no problems with the Ultra Fire batteries, but these are the batteries, the AW 18650, and oh, let me just show you inside. I hope you can see that. There's a regular spring in there at the bottom, and there's no vent holes. What I was told is that if there was ever any gas leaking from the battery, that this little metal cap on the bottom will pop off. I haven't had no issues with that, but this is kind of like a, maybe aluminum, I think. It's rather light, but it's nice and colored. This one's the green one, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. It's really faint. Probably see the scratch I have on my mod. But it says Ego T at the bottom, and at the bottom of the base it has the Joyetech logo. rather smooth. And just put the battery in with the button facing up, positive up. Let me take this card off. And you get a little flashing. And it fits rather nice. There's no gaps in between. Now this device is not just a regular 18650 device, just like all the regular tube mods. It's a little different. There's the one, wait a minute, let's start over again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it'll go off. Now when it's off, you can hold it for 5 seconds. And you'll get like an orangish yellowish light. Okay. Now if you hold it for another 5 seconds, it goes back to the whitish bluish light. Now what that is very interesting, because I was kind of surprised when this actually did that. A regular Ego, a regular Ego T, Ego C, uses the pulse width modulation, I believe it's called, and okay, it's on. Now, with the pulse width modulation, you usually don't get no readings on these little voltmeters. What that means is that the voltage from the battery goes through the switch, and I don't know exactly how it works, but it goes high to low to give you that steady vape of around 3.3, and that's an Ego mode. The light blue to white color is the Ego mode. Now if you turn it off again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, and you hold it down for 5 more seconds, and you get over into the orange mode. This mode, what they're calling it, is kind of funny. I had to copy this from the site. This is called the variable voltage output mode, but it is the battery voltage. It's battery voltage output mode. Variable voltage, I don't think so. It's more or less using the voltage from your battery. Let me turn this back on. Now you notice it's orange, but when I click it now, you're getting a reading. Now, this is a pretty dead battery. It's not even reading that good. It's at 3.5. Let me put a freshly charged battery in here. Nice one, I'm prepared, huh? Alright. Okay. Freshly charged battery. I had 2 of them sitting there and I had to grab the wrong one. Okay. So I'm going to bring it back over to that mode, which is the orange mode. Okay, I'm going to turn it back on. Now, you can notice that we're getting a 4.19. Now that's a freshly charged battery. You usually get about 4.1, 4.2, sometimes 4.3 on a freshly charged battery. Now you're going to be vaping at 4.1, but it's not going to be a constant 4.1. It's going to drop as the battery drops. As you noticed with the last battery, it was down to 3.59. So when the battery, as you use it, it drops down to 3.9, 3.8, 3.7. It keeps on dropping. You're going to notice your vape is going to get weaker and less. So it's a nice touch, but if you want a steady vape at around 3.3 to 3.4, 3.5 Ego mode, you would like to have it in the light blue. Let me just turn this off again. and bring it back to the light blue. Just hold it for 5 seconds. Okay, there's the light blue flashing. Now turn it back on. Okay, now you notice that the light blue, and you notice that it's flashing. So that's the ego mode. So, that being said, that is basically the difference between this and a regular ego battery, and the use of changing out the batteries and putting it in, and the size, obviously. But it has the regular ego tip, which is nice to be using for your Stardusts. Fits right on there nicely. The fan is running. Let me just turn that off real quick. Okay. But the Stardust looks rather nice on it. It has a nice form factor, flows really nice, nice wide handle, or I should say grip. The regular Ego battery seems kind of thin. I'm so used to using stuff like the Silver Bullet, the Bravari, the Lava Tube. It's a little bit heavier in the hand, and this kind of, when I go reach for an Ego, I usually grab one of these. The thing that's nice about these is, like I said earlier, they are inexpensive. There's various different colors. There's the green, the blue, the black, silver, red. They have a burnt orange, chrome, copper color, pink, white. This came from Health Cabinet, and I think right now all they have are like 4 or 5 different colors. But you have to buy the tube separate, and the switch is also they're both separate. Excuse me. The switch sells for $9.50, and the tube sells for around $6. That's a very inexpensive mod. Something nice to keep around. Nice backup. For new vapors, I think it's great for the bigger battery mod. A nice entry level. I kind of like them. The thing that I really like about these is when you go to use a tank, and you put a tank on here, it kind of looks kind of funny with the threads showing and stuff, but with the adapters, this one right here is a little like 5 milliliter tank adapter, they call it. It just goes onto the Ego threading, and then when you put on this cap of the tank, kind of looks nice. Nice flow. Finger fits in there nice. Vapor is really nice. That's gonna have to do more with the cardo and the juice that you're using. But this mod, it's very nice. I haven't had no misfires. It's a decent mod for the price. I can't complain. There's also these little cones for the 3 millimeter slim tanks. I don't have one in front of me right now, but you get 3 milliliter and it goes right into that, which looks really nice with those. Now these don't all come with this device. These are just little adapters that I'm showing. Plus there's a little cone adapter that is threads on, and these are nice for when you want to use cartomizers or atomizers, and it just covers up that threading, It looks really nice. A lot of different places sell different colors. I'm not sure about these in black. I think most of these come in silver, and I think these come in black and silver, the ones for the 3 milliliter tanks. But I'm rather surprised on how good this really vapes. I'm going to bring it over into the other mode. Over into the variable wattage or voltage battery mode, they say. So, I mean, it's just basically running on the battery voltage, which most of your 3.7 tube devices do that don't run with the pulse modulation. It's basically, there's 2 modes with this, the ego mode and the battery voltage mode. Let me just turn this right back on. Okay, now basically we're running at, let me just check the voltage one more time. And I'll just hook up the carder to this. Okay. Okay, it's running at 3.75. Nice vapor. This is a low res Bode cartomizer, and with no load, it's running at 4.1. So there is some dropping in the voltage. But you got to look at that as what the price is, and what you're really looking for. This is just basically an overgrown ego. And I really like that if you don't have batteries and battery chargers and you're just moving up from the ego and you want to make a little leap and you don't want to go out and buy a charger and all these batteries, well, you know, if you want to pick one of these up, you can go pick up a couple 18650 AW batteries, and I have been charging this with my ego charger. The hook's right up to it. And you can plug that right in to the computer or into a wall socket that you have your USB wall socket adapter. And if you don't have a charger, that's what I've been doing. And just watch that the red light on your ego charger is, when it turns green, that you pull it off. I don't like leaving my batteries overcharging. So this is the 18650 Ego T battery mod from Joyetech. But it's a nice mod. It's a nice backup. I use it as a backup, and it was one of my first mods that I grabbed after my ego, and it gave me the satisfaction I was looking for. Better battery life, a little stronger vapor than a regular ego when the batteries were fully charged. I didn't have to carry around 2 ego batteries. I carried this around and it lasted me a whole day. So that was rather nice. But you can find these over at healthcabin.net. There's other vendors that sell these. Some of them call them the Ego 2 upgraded 18650 mods, but this is what it is. And I think it's pretty nice. So that's what I have. Wait a minute. I have a giveaway. Alright, so like everybody knows, I'm new to reviews, and just get my feet wet, and I'm trying to bring you some information. You may not like my videos, you may like them, but I'm just trying to get some people to look at it and give back to the community a little bit. So what I'm doing is, for everybody that comments on this video and subscribes to my channel, I will be giving away a blue 18650 Ego T. Now this is the switch and the tube, no battery, you have to get the battery yourself, and a charger. There's no adapters. This is just the battery, just the regular tube mod. But it's a nice little starter kit. This one's not scratched like my green one is. This one is new. This one's never been used, so you'll like this. My hand just got there. There you go. But here it is, and I'll be sending it in a nice little net bag, I guess you call it. And that could be yours. So what I'm gonna do is have, after 2 weeks, I'm gonna give it 2 weeks, and I'll take all the comments down below and I will throw them into a random generator and I'll pick a winner, and in 2 weeks I'll let everybody know who won. So please subscribe to my channel and leave a comment down below. This is Junkie Rock. Keep on vaping, everybody.